Chalo, today we will discuss SN1 mechanism. Again, S and 1 are same like previous reaction. S is substitution, N is nucleophilic, and 1 means unimolecular. So, substitution, nucleophilic, unimolecular reaction is called as SN1 reaction. And what is example of this SN1 reaction? It is also hydrolysis of alkyl halide. But here alkyl halide taken is tertiary butyl bromide CH3C, CH3, CH3Br plus aqueous alkali like KOH or NaOH. What happens in this reaction? Br minus is replaced by OH minus. So this is nucleophilic substitution reaction. Okay, suppose we have taken concentration of this as X and concentration of OH minus equal to Y, and the rate of reaction is R. Concentration of X, this alkyl halide is doubled, it is made 2X, and this is kept constant as Y. It is observed that rate is doubled. It means if we double concentration of alkyl halide, rate of reaction is doubled. If we keep this concentration constant as X and concentration of OH minus is doubled, it was before Y, now it is made 2Y. What is the effect of this on the rate? No effect. Means rate of this reaction does not depend upon concentration of alkyl halide. So different experiments were done and the final conclusion they got as rate is proportional to concentration of tertiary butyl bromide only. It is independent of alkali or the nucleophile involved in this reaction. So rate is equal to K into concentration of CH3 thrice CBr. As in the rate expression, only one molecule is involved. It is called as unimolecular reaction. Hence the name substitution nucleophilic unimolecular reaction. Now what is the mechanism? How is it taking place? So it is two-step reaction. SN2 was one step. Here SN1 is two-step reaction. What happens in these two steps? So two ways are there, two steps are there. One is breaking of CBr and second one is formation of COH. In SN2 also we discussed this. Breaking of CBr and formation of COH take place simultaneously in SN2. But here the case is different. What is observed here? See, in the step 1 there is breaking of CBr bond. In the first step CBr bond is broken. This arrow moving away from carbon to bromine indicates that bromine pulls electron towards it and carbon loses its electron, so carbon is going to get a positive charge. This is a slow step and slow step is always rate determining step. We get this carbonium ion and we know that this is tertiary carbonium ion, so it is highly stable plus Br minus. So step 1 is breaking of CBr bond. Now step 2. In step 2 OH minus attacks this CBr, attacks this carbonium ion. OH minus attacks this carbonium ion. So it attacks on this substance and we get CH3 thrice COH. Okay, these are the two steps. First step is formation of carbonium ion and second step is formation of product. That only they have explained here. Silent features of SN1 reaction. It's a two-step reaction. Heterolysis. We studied this. Heterolysis means what? Unsymmetrical breaking. Hetero, not symmetrical. Lysis, breaking. Unsymmetrical breaking of CX bond, and that bond is polar. So X becomes minus and carbon becomes plus, and we get first step. In the first step we get planar carbocation. Carbocation is sp2 hybridized. So sp2 hybridized means its geometry is planar trigonal. So it is said that carbonium is planar intermediate. Now attack of nucleophile, that is fast step. It is not slow step. If any reaction is carried out in two or more than two steps, then always slowest step is the rate determining step, and only one reaction is there which is the slowest step. Other reactions are fast reactions. Okay, so whatever number of intermediate reactions are there, there is only one slow step. All other steps are fast step. So in the first step, in the second step, product is formed. Now next important thing, here also tertiary butyl bromide is not optically active because here carbon is not asymmetric. Asymmetric means we discussed that it should have 4 different groups. Here this carbon is attached to 3CH3, so same groups are there, so it is not optically active. But suppose if we start with alkyl halide having asymmetric carbon and it is undergoing SN1 mechanism, then there is racemization of racemization. This we discuss in our optical activity. Racemization means formation of racemic mixture. Why do we get racemic mixture? Suppose that substance is optically active. So it means that in this case, this carbon should be attached to A, B, C, 3 different groups, and OH minus have to attack this carbonium ion. Now OH minus ion have a choice, right? It can attack this carbonium ion either from front side or from back side. Now there is no Br to stop the attack of OH minus ion like in SN2. So OH minus can attack from any side. So 50% chances of attack of OH minus from the front side and 50% chances of attack of OH minus from back side of this carbonium ion. So we get product with inversion as well as retention in configuration. When 50% OH attacks from front side, then that resultant OH gets the same place as that of Br, and if 50% OH minus attacks from back side, then remaining 50% product will have OH minus exactly opposite to that of Br, that we discussed as Walden inversion. So here OH gets the same place as that of Br as well as OH gets opposite place as that of Br. So we get mixture of two substances if and only if substance is optically active, then only racemization takes place, means racemic mixture is obtained. See, only when optically active substrate is there, then only racemization takes place. So that's all SN1 reaction.